A silver ingot is placed on a government table. It does not always buy an office. Sometimes, it only buys a shorter wait. You are entering the civil bureaucracy of the Qing dynasty, a world famous for its imperial examinations. But study is only one path. Money, family ties, and powerful patrons can open other doors. The higher you climb, the more power you gain, but the more people you owe. By the end, you will see what each level costs, what it gives back, and who pays the difference. Level 1, the yamen outsider. Outside the county yamen, dust from the road sticks to the clothes of the people waiting near the gate. One man holds a legal complaint against his chest. Another has brought a child with him. Some arrived before sunrise, but they are still standing outside the red doors. People with familiar names do not wait as long. Your home is only a few streets away. In the front room, there is a wooden table, a few old books, and a small box of silver. Your father opens the box and places one silver ingot beside the deed to a small piece of family land. That money could buy paper, ink, and a few more months of study. It could also help you ask the right person for an introduction to a clerk inside the yamen. You can read, you can write. In the eyes of your neighbors, that already places you above many of the people waiting outside the gate. But inside the government, you are still no one. You have no official rank. You own no seal. Your name is not on any list of men allowed to give orders. The system still needs people like you. Records must be copied. Tax books must be counted. Legal complaints must be sorted before they ever reach the county magistrate. But skill alone does not carry you to a desk inside. You need someone to speak for you. You need a guarantor, a family connection, or a person already inside the system who is willing to remember your name. Each morning, you stand a little closer to the gate. You carry paper for a clerk. You deliver messages. You copy a short document. You learn how to bow to the people who might help you and how not to stare too long at the people bowing below them. You are not an official. You are only a literate man who has learned where power begins and who can open the door. For now, what you give the system is your time, your obedience, and your gratitude to anyone willing to pull you closer. At the next level, this long wait will be given a more honorable name, the Imperial Examination. Level 2, the Examination Candidate. The road to the examination hall is crowded. Candidates arrive from distant counties carrying books, blankets, dry food, and the money their families have saved over many years. Inns around the city are full. In the courtyards, men read under the roofs, argue over the classics, and quietly study the faces of the people who may defeat them the next morning. You sleep on a hard wooden platform beside a small box of paper and ink. Your robe is worn at the elbows. The tips of your fingers are hard from holding a brush. You have enough money left for a few simple meals and the journey home, unless you must stay longer to wait for the result. Before you left, your mother divided the travel money into small bundles. Your father said little when he handed it to you. Last year, the family sold part of its grain. This year, an uncle added more silver. Every payment is remembered, even when no one writes it down. You are an examination candidate. You rule no one. You give no orders. But your family has already begun to live as if your future office belongs to them. Neighbors speak to you with more respect. Children are told to stay quiet while you study. A wooden desk, an oil lamp, and a few books become the center of every hope inside the house. The government needs you to prove that you understand the classics, can write in the proper form, and know the moral language of the state. The examination system gives the government an image of learning, discipline, and merit. But the road is very narrow. According to data used in the research behind this script, about 27,000 men earned the highest Jinshi degree across 112 national examinations during the Qing dynasty. Behind every successful man stood many more who studied, traveled, took the exams, and never reached the highest level. Inside the examination room, you lean close to the paper. No examiner can see the land your family sold, the meals they made smaller, or the years they spent waiting. They only see the essay. One mistaken form, one weak answer, or one rank too low can send you back to the dusty road outside. Even passing an exam does not always give you an office at once. A degree can bring honor. It can improve your family's name. It can create new connections. But there are more qualified men than open government positions. You may keep studying. You may teach. You may wait. Or you may search for a powerful man who is willing to remember you. You are an examination candidate. What you give the system is learning, discipline, and the image of a government that chooses men through talent. What the system gives you is hope strong enough to keep your whole family sacrificing. It does not promise that hope will become an office. When the examination door opens too slowly, The silver in your family box may be placed on another table. This time, it will not pay a teacher or an innkeeper. It will be offered to the state itself. Level 3. The office purchaser. Inside a government office, the room does not look secret. Silver is placed on a scale. Its weight is checked. A clerk writes down the name of the payer, then presses a seal onto the document. The door is still open. Anyone walking past can see what is happening. This is not always a hidden bribe. Under the Qing system of official purchase, the state could openly accept money in exchange for a title, status, seniority, or an advantage in the appointment process. According to research used for this script, a buyer did not always purchase a specific office. Sometimes he purchased time, a better place in the line, a shorter wait. Your family no longer counts money by the number of books it can buy. They gather silver from several places. An older brother adds part of his trading income. An uncle lends money using his own reputation. A piece of land may be sold, not because the family is starving today, but because they believe your future office will protect them for years. You are now an office purchaser. On paper, you have moved closer to the government than a scholar who only has learning. But the stamped document does not give you a courtroom, servants, or the right to command. You still need an open position. You still need a patron. You still need your file to reach the right desk and your name to be remembered by the right person. The state needs your money. Wars, relief work, construction, and government offices all cost silver. In return, the state sells you part of the shortage that it controls, access to the small number of official positions. To your family, the payment looks like an investment. An office can bring land, honor, better marriages, and stronger education for the next generation. Once you hold power, relatives will no longer enter a yamen as complete strangers. Their letters will begin with two simple words: "We are family." But before the glory arrives, the debt already exists. The relative who gave silver will remember how much he gave. The patron who wrote a letter will remember his own name at the bottom. The man who helped your file move faster will wait for the day when you can return the favor. Your future office has already been divided among other people before you even sit in the chair. You do not think of yourself as corrupt. You tell yourself that you are only using a path allowed by the state. You may even believe that you will govern better than men who only know books. But when office begins with a cost, every year of waiting makes that cost heavier. Travel, gifts, lodging, and repeated visits continue to eat away at family property. You are an office purchaser. What you give the system is silver. What the system gives you is not power, but the chance to stand closer to power. Your family sees a future. You see a shorter line. At the next level, you will meet men with little official rank and no great title. Yet by holding a legal complaint on their desk for one more day, they can make someone pay to be heard. Level 4. The unranked clerk. From the street, the yamen looks like a machine with one center. The main gate leads to the courtyard. The courtyard leads to the courtroom. In that courtroom sits the county magistrate, with the government seal beside him. People outside believe that all power is concentrated in that chair. But behind the courtroom, power is divided across many small desks. Tax records sit on one desk. Criminal files sit on another. Legal complaints are tied into bundles beside inkstones with black, dry edges. Some papers pass through 3 or 4 pairs of hands before the magistrate reads the first line. You sit at one of those desks. Your robe has no rank badge that makes visitors step aside. The room does not belong to you. Old records fill the shelves. Scraps of paper lie in a box under the desk. Dark ink stains your sleeves. You are a clerk inside the yamen. You may have no formal rank at all. Your legal position may be much lower than the power your daily work gives you. You cannot pass a sentence, but you know where a case will be placed. You cannot lower a tax, but you know which household has been counted too high or too low. You do not own the seal, but before the seal touches the page, the file usually passes through your hands. The system needs you because the magistrate cannot read, copy, count, and check everything himself. A county produces land taxes, property disputes, legal complaints, arrest orders, relief reports, and official letters to higher offices. Without men like you, the paper would rise in piles until the government stopped moving. In return, the system gives you unstable power. Studies of local Qing government show that the real number of clerks and runners could be much larger than the official number allowed on paper. This means many workers depended on an office that did not always have enough official money to support them. The missing money did not disappear. It was pushed down onto the people who needed the yamen. A farmer arrives with a complaint about a boundary dispute. He has walked since early morning. Mud is still on the bottom of his trousers. You look at the paper and see that one part is missing. You can reject it. You can explain how to fix it. You can call someone to rewrite it. Or you can place it in a pile that will move faster. No one has to say that this help has a price. A few coins appear beside the inkstone. A gift arrives after the case is finished. An unofficial charge is explained as paper money, copying money, or payment for a runner. Not every clerk takes money in the same way. Not every payment is a bribe. But when wages, staff numbers, and operating costs do not match, the line between a work fee, a local custom, and abuse becomes very thin. You may tell yourself that you only take enough to live. The man standing in front of your desk does not have the same freedom to explain it. To ordinary people, you are the nearest face of government. They bow, even though you are not a high official. They learn to speak softly, place the document in the correct spot, and never ask why another case arrived later but moved first. To the magistrate, you are only a worker. If something goes wrong, you can be replaced. If everything runs smoothly, the credit belongs to the man with the seal. Your power is large enough to hurt the people below you, but too small to protect you from the people above. You are an unranked clerk. What you give the government is memory, procedure, and the ability to keep the yamen moving. What you receive is control over a narrow place that ordinary people must pass through. You do not own the seal. But you have learned that power does not always need a seal. Sometimes it only needs to keep a paper on the desk for one more day. At the next level, the seal will finally belong to you. So will every shortage, every request, and every hungry hand inside the office. Level 5. The County Magistrate. From the steps of the courtroom, your county stretches beyond what you can see. There are fields, villages, river docks, markets, and dirt roads connecting them all. Ordinary people do not see the whole government behind you. They only know that when land is taken, a fight begins, taxes are missing, or relief is needed. The matter must finally come to your yamen. Runners bring people into the courtyard. Clerks tie files into bundles and add notes that you may never write yourself. On the table is the seal. Behind you stand your family, your servants, your staff, and the people who paid, introduced, or supported you on the road to office. You are the county magistrate. For most people, you are the nearest form of imperial power. You hear cases, you collect taxes, you keep order, you organize relief, you send reports to the prefecture above you. One short order from you can keep a man in jail, move a case forward, or cost a family the land they have worked for years. This is the glory your family imagined when they place silver on the table. Your name is spoken with respect. Relatives visit more often. An uncle wants a job for his son. A brother asks for help with a dispute. An old contact writes to remind you that he once spoke well of you to an important man. No one calls this debt. They call it family duty, old friendship, and mutual help. The system needs you to keep the whole county working. Taxes must arrive on time. Cases cannot remain open forever. Crime must appear to be under control. During a bad harvest, you must ask for relief while also proving that the county has not fallen into disorder. You have more power than the clerks below you, but you also inherit every cost they were hiding. The yamen needs paper, messengers, guards, runners, escorts, and people who understand local procedure. Research behind this script shows that the real number of workers could be much larger than the official staff list. On paper, the office looks small and clean. Inside the courtyard, many more people need to be fed. The shortage does not disappear when you receive the seal. A farmer from a distant village arrives with a land case. Before he kneels in front of you, he has already paid for someone to write the complaint, for travel, for copies, and perhaps for unofficial help to move the file faster. When you finally see the page, the silver has already fallen from his pocket onto several desks behind you. You can order an end to these charges. But if you push too hard, clerks may slow their work. Runners may find other ways to take money. Reports may begin to arrive late. You can also look away, as long as the office keeps working and no serious accusation reaches your superiors. This is the moment when power becomes cooperation with the abuse. Not because you wake each morning wanting to hurt the poor. You do it because the office needs money, your family needs protection, your superiors need results, and your career cannot survive a county described as chaotic. Each time you ignore a small payment, you trade the fairness of one stranger for the stability of the position you hold. The glory is still real. You can save a village during famine. You can decide a case fairly. You can force a rich man to return land to a weaker family. But with the same seal, you can delay, pressure, or protect people connected to you. Your family lives better. Your children study with stronger teachers. The ancestral hall can be repaired. Relatives no longer enter a yamen as completely unknown people. One official career begins to become the foundation for many future lives. You are the county magistrate. What you give the system is order, taxes, and the visible presence of the emperor in daily life. What you receive is honor, legal power, and the ability to lift your family above its old position. But to keep the chair, you must feed the machine below and satisfy the people above. When you rise to the prefecture, you will no longer see every small payment beside the inkstone. You will only see the clean numbers after they have been gathered together. Level 6, the prefect. Roads from many counties lead to your prefectural city. Along them come tax grain, reports, appeals, and groups of people carrying requests. The prefectural office has a higher gate and a deeper courtyard than a county yamen. But the greatest change is not the building. It is the number of people waiting for you to decide the future of an official below. Inside your home, the table is better and the clothes are finer. Your family no longer counts every silver coin for paper and travel. But beside the guest room sits a pile of letters thicker than any stack of books from your student days. One letter comes from the uncle who gave money years ago. Another comes from a former teacher. Another comes from a man from your home region who wants a position for his son. Every letter begins with congratulations. Every letter ends with a request. You are the prefect. Several counties sit below you, each with its own magistrate, clerks, runners, and local network. You no longer hear every small case. Your job is to look across the system and decide which magistrate can be trusted, who should be investigated, and which report can be sent upward. The government needs you to turn many separate counties into one picture of order. Taxes must be enough. Cases must move. A bad harvest must be controlled before it becomes famine or rebellion. A successful magistrate improves your record. A failed magistrate can place your own name inside a report to the province. Your power now appears less often as a bag of silver. It appears in the choice to delay a bad report, write a good review, or give one man more time to repair a mistake. A magistrate who served you well may be protected. A man outside your network may be removed more quickly. At first, no one calls this corruption. It is called knowing how to use people, keeping order, remembering old duty. But every time you protect someone, the debt changes direction. Today, you save him. Tomorrow, he understands that he must protect your people below. A small favor becomes a chain of duty running through several levels of government. The honor of your position is easy to see. When you return home, relatives build a tent to welcome you. Children are told to remember your title. The family buys land, repairs the ancestral hall, and searches for better marriages. You once waited outside a yamen gate. Now, a whole region searches for ways to reach you. But the more people come, the less the office belongs to you. Every decision must balance the law, results, superiors, and the relationships that helped create your career. You do not only govern counties, you govern the debts running through them. You are the prefect. What you give the system is the ability to turn many local governments into one office that can collect, report, and protect itself. What you receive is wealth, honor, and the right to give chances to other men. You no longer collect every small payment. You decide who is allowed to continue collecting them. At the next level, these decisions will be tied to money larger than one prefecture, and one line from your brush can open or close the career of many officials below. Level 7. The Circuit Intendant. From your office, one number on a page can represent dozens of counties. Transport roads, tax stores, relay stations, and river docks connect an area too large to see at once. Reports arrive from many directions, but before they reach your desk, they have already been read, corrected, and made easier to accept. You no longer live like a man waiting outside a yamen. Your home is larger. Messengers arrive more often. The meals contain more dishes, but they are rarely private. County officials, merchants with licenses, transport agents, and members of powerful families all find reasons to stand before you. You are a circuit intendant. You may supervise several prefectures or control a special field such as taxes, transport, salt, or justice. You stand high enough that you no longer handle every small complaint, but you remain close enough to local government to know how many missing coins can hide inside one clean number. The system needs you to keep larger flows of money and goods moving. Taxes must travel upward. Transport cannot stop. One weak county can damage a prefecture. One prefect who hides problems too long can make the whole province question your ability. On your desk is a list of men waiting for promotion. You mark one name in red. The man once helped you when you were lower in office. His record is not perfect, but it is not bad enough to destroy him. One good line from you can move him ahead of others. At this level, silver alone no longer solves everything. Official purchase can shorten the road into government. But to reach a position near yours, a man still needs results, support, and approval from people already inside the system. Money can buy time. It cannot write a strong performance report by itself. Your power now looks cleaner. You do not need a small payment from a farmer. You only need to decide which tax store is inspected first, which transport route receives help, or which official gets more time to correct a problem. Every choice can be explained as good administration. Every choice can also create a new debt. The honor of your position belongs to more than you. Your family begins to use your name as property. A cousin receives a better post. Your children study with famous teachers. The man who once lent silver to your father is welcomed as an old friend. Others look at your success and understand that talent is not enough. They need to be remembered by someone like you. But at the same moment you can open doors for men below, the door above becomes narrower. Provincial leaders watch your results, your network, the men you protect, and the missing money in the areas under your care. A man you help today may become evidence against you tomorrow. You are the circuit intendant. What you give the state is the power to turn many prefectures, tax flows, and officials into one system controlled from a distance. What you receive is the right to decide who may keep climbing. You no longer wait outside the door. You hold the key. At the next level, that key opens the finances and law of an entire province. There, your success can repay the debt of one lifetime and raise the starting point of your whole family. Level 8. The Provincial Commissioner. From your office, an entire province is reduced to columns of numbers. Land tax, treasury, silver, unfinished cases, transport costs, and shortages sit on clean pages. Outside are thousands of villages, many families, and harvests that may succeed or fail. On your desk, all of them become numbers that must match. Your home no longer looks like the room where your father placed a land deed beside a silver ingot. The courtyard is wider. There are more servants. Guests bring gifts, letters of introduction, and congratulations for the whole family. Back in your home region, the ancestral hall is repaired. A new sign is raised, so that anyone passing by knows this family has produced a provincial official. You are a provincial commissioner. You may control finance or justice across the province. Below you are prefectures, counties, treasuries, and local officials. Above you are the governor, the viceroy, and the court in Beijing. You stand high enough to shape the lives of millions. You still stand low enough to explain every large shortage and every serious legal failure. If you control finance, the system needs you to keep silver moving upward. Taxes must be enough. Accounts must match. A shortage in one county must be found before it becomes a problem for the whole province. If you control justice, you review major cases, check mistakes, and help make local power look lawful. That is the formal work. Your real power also lives in matters that never appear as a separate line in an official report. A lower official is waiting for review. A rich family wants a son recommended for a good post. A man from your home region writes about a connection from many years ago. You do not need to give anyone an office directly. You only need to say that one name deserves attention. The door is already wider. Your family understands the value of those words. A nephew who once studied in a small room now has a private teacher. A cousin receives an introduction to a better school. Marriages once impossible become possible. More land is purchased, not only for income, but to turn official honor into property that can survive after you leave office. Research used for this script shows that office purchase and official careers could help elite families keep their position across generations. This does not mean every family stayed powerful forever. But once one man entered deep into the system, his children often did not begin at the same gate as everyone else. The silver once used to buy study time has now become books, land, marriage, and influence. The first investment has not only returned, it has become an advantage that the next generation can inherit. This is the greatest glory of your level. You do not only change your own life, you change the starting point of the whole family. But that glory creates a new duty. The more relatives depend on your name, the harder it becomes to act only according to law. An investigation may touch a friend. A shortage may involve an official who once helped your family. A bad file does not only threaten your position, it threatens everything your relatives have built around that position. You can choose strict action, but if you pull one thread too hard, the whole network may shake. The man you protected protects another man. The person who once helped you reminds you of the debt. At this height, corruption looks less like a hand taking silver. It looks like a web of people who all know they must keep the structure from falling. You are a provincial commissioner. What you give the system is the ability to turn tax, law, and thousands of local officials into one machine that reports upward. What you receive is enough honor to rebuild the position of your entire family. You have reached the place where one career can shape several generations. But from now on, every mistake can travel in the opposite direction. To protect what your family has gained, you need the strongest man in the province to protect you. Level 9, the governor or viceroy. From the residence of a governor or viceroy, the map in front of you no longer ends at one prefecture. Rivers, transport routes, grain stores, cities, and dangerous areas are marked in ink. A failed harvest in the south, missing silver in the east, or a major legal case hidden too long can become a memorial carrying your name to Beijing. Your residence is large. Guards stand at the doors. Carriages fill the space outside. The people asking to see you are no longer only relatives or county magistrates. They are wealthy merchants, provincial officials, members of powerful families, and men waiting for promotion. Your meals have more dishes, but you rarely finish them. A pile of documents always waits beside the table. You are the governor, or above him, the viceroy controlling several provinces. This is the highest level of local power. You can direct taxes, relief, security, construction, and appointments across a territory ordinary people cannot imagine. One sentence from you can save a lower official. Another can destroy him. The system needs you to keep a large part of the empire working without forcing the court to manage every local problem. When drought comes, you must ask for relief while proving that the government still has control. When silver is missing, you must find the cause without allowing the entire network below you to collapse. When unrest begins, you must stop it before the news reaches the capital as a failure too large to hide. Your power no longer lives in small coins beside an inkstone. It lives in the choice of who becomes a magistrate, who stays after a mistake, and who receives another chance. The men you support will support others. Over many years, the network can spread through prefectures, treasuries, and departments. To the men below, you are the wall protecting them from the court. To the court, you are the man responsible for those same officials. A memorial is brought into the room. A local treasury is missing silver. The official in charge once served you well. If you report him at once, you may protect your own record but destroy part of the network that keeps the region working. If you give him time to replace the money, the problem may disappear. It may also grow and return as an investigation. You place the brush on the paper, then you lift it again. At this level, patronage can begin to look like a government inside the government. No secret meeting is required. Each person only needs to protect another person because of old duty, shared interest, or fear of falling together. Over time, parts of the system become places no one wants to inspect too deeply. Your local glory has almost no equal. When you return home, you do not only honor one branch of the family, the whole region may know your name. The ancestral hall grows. Land, education, and family connections grow with it. You can place relatives in positions that earlier generations could never reach, but the more people depend on your name, the more you can lose. An accusation does not only threaten your chair, it threatens the property, honor, and future of everyone who built their life around your power. One official under investigation may reveal letters, recommendations, and old decisions you believed were forgotten. You sleep in a larger room than ever before. Guards stand outside. Inside are memorials you have not yet sent. Glory has given you more servants. It has also given you more reasons to fear footsteps stopping at your door in the middle of the night. You are the governor or viceroy. What you give the system is the ability to keep a wide part of the empire stable, taxable, and obedient. What you receive is enough power to feed a whole network and raise your family higher than any earlier generation. But your local power is never independent. Every memorial goes to Beijing. Every success must be accepted by the men above. Every failure can be judged by people who do not live in your province, but still control your future. Only one door remains above you. It does not lead to a larger province. It leads to the emperor. Level 10. The Grand Counselor. Beijing wakes behind walls that most officials in the empire will never cross. Outside, carriages bring reports from the provinces. Inside, the papers are copied, sorted, and moved through rooms that become quieter as they approach the emperor. The closer you come to the throne, the softer people speak. You no longer see fields, treasuries, or legal petitioners with your own eyes. The empire comes to you as written reports. A famine becomes several pages. A rebellion becomes one line. A viceroy who controls millions of people becomes a name waiting for your comment. You are a grand counselor, one of the small number of men close to the final place of decision. You may not hold the highest formal rank in the whole government, but your real power comes from access. You see documents before others. You are allowed to speak when most officials can only write. One short comment from you can cause a report to receive more attention or to be placed aside. To reach this level, silver was never enough. According to research used in this script, more than 90% of a studied group of about 4,200 high officials held the Jinshi degree. This does not mean every grand counselor followed the same path. But it shows that at the top, academic honor still carried great weight. Money could buy status, seniority, or a better place in line. It could not create decades of reputation, service, and trust by itself. You have passed examinations or reviews that most men could never survive. You have lived in government long enough to know when to speak, when to stay silent, and when an answer that is too clear may make others think you have private ambition. The system needs you to turn a huge flow of information into choices the emperor can use. You must read quickly, remember details, and notice what is hidden inside language that has already been cleaned by many levels below. A province saying that the situation is stable may only be asking for more time. A viceroy praising a subordinate may be protecting his own network. A report that looks too perfect may be more dangerous than one that admits failure. In return, you receive a kind of glory that the man outside the county yamen could never imagine. Your name appears in discussions that decide the future of officials, treasuries, and entire regions. Back home, your relatives are not only respected, they are known as the family of a man close to the throne. The letters still arrive. A cousin wants a recommendation. An old supporter wants a place for his son. A provincial official reminds you of the years you once served together. But at this level, every favor is more dangerous. A man you promote may fail far away, and his failure can still return to Beijing carrying your name. You spent your life building a network. Now, that network can become proof that your power has grown too large to be safe. An open memorial lies before you. The emperor may ask for your opinion at any moment. You know the answer must not only be correct, it must be correct in a way that creates no doubt about your loyalty, ambition, or hidden relationships. At the county level, you could delay a complaint. At the prefectural level, you could protect a subordinate. At the provincial level, you could shape an entire network. Here, your power exists inside one very short distance. The distance between where you stand and the emperor's trust. There is no silver ingot on the table now, no land deed, no official purchase receipt. The thing being exchanged is no longer money, it is trust. You are the grand counselor. What you give the government is the ability to turn the fears of an empire into a few choices placed before the throne. What you receive is power almost no one else can touch. But the chair does not belong to your degree, your family, or your network. It exists only while the emperor still wants to hear you. The man outside the yamen needs someone to open the door. The man beside the emperor only needs one person to close it, and everything is gone. Closing mirror. The man outside the yamen believes office will make him free. The man beside the emperor knows better. One borrows silver, favors, and family honor to enter the system. The other spends every day repaying the trust of the throne. Between them, each level takes duty from the people below and passes pressure upward. The title changes, the creditor changes, but the power never fully belongs to you. The cycle continues.